For years, while Casie Coleman, a young Casie Coleman, was attending Lord Tweedsford High School right near Fraser Downs, she had another thing on the back of her mind, and that was a passion for horses. Casie eventually left Fraser Downs and went on to become one of the most amazing stories in Canadian standardbred horse racing history. Recently, Casie returned for a special reason, a cause that she believed in. We'll let Casie tell you all about why she returned and what's happened to her since she left Fraser Downs.
I went to Lord Tweedsmere, which is right up on the hill there from Fraser Downs, and I could watch the horses train right from my classrooms, which was pretty awesome. And yeah, there's nothing I ever wanted to do but train horses. It was just in my blood, and fell in love with it.
You had a serious accident. Can you give us a little information on what really happened? Because it's quite, once again, this was a tough one.
Yeah, it was back in about year 2000 at Sandown in Victoria. I was working for Billy Davis as a groom at the time and had one horse of my own named Southside Pride, and about 5 o'clock after the races, I was putting him away. He was in the race the next day. I was heating up a liniment called reducing, which is like a pine tar kind of like. I wanted to heat it up to liquefy it to make it easier to put on, and I think it works better that way. Anyways, I grabbed a gallon of alcohol instead of a small bottle and decided to put it onto the flame, and it blew up in my face and went all over my right arm and both my legs, and I burnt 22% of my body that day, and I was in intensive care for quite a long time at the Victoria Burn Unit. I spent a lot of time in there.
How scared were you?
For one thing, I was told that they may have to amputate my right leg because I had burnt it so bad, and my parents actually had to sign a waiver saying that they could amputate it when I went into surgery for my first skin grafts. I never knew if I'd ever walk normal again, let alone train or drive horses again.
Do you feel by telling the story you're inspiring other people who do face tragedy?
I think so for sure, because I know myself when I was in there and when I first started my physiotherapy and I couldn't walk. I fell right on the floor a couple times trying to walk, and I never thought I would ever be normal again, and I thought I was not going to be able to do what I loved. I wasn't too sure what I was going to do, and I just decided I got to pick my head up and work through it, and I did it, and now I've come a long way, and nothing really, like I'm just as normal as everybody else, I think, anyway, or try to be. So no, I think for sure, never put your head down. Just keep, you got to take what's dealt to you and keep going forward.
Now, you saying you came a long way. You're the first female to win an O'Brien Award. What was that like?
It was absolutely unbelievable. It was a dream come true. Like the first year when I got nominated and got that phone call from Kathy Wade-Valor to tell me I was nominated for an O'Brien Award, it was absolutely unbelievable, that's for sure. And then to actually win it, you always think of things like I set very high goals for myself, but to ever even imagine setting a goal like being nominated, let alone winning an O'Brien Award, was just absolutely amazing. And then to do it again the next year, it was. That was pretty awesome, that's for sure. There's not too many words can describe how great that was.
2009, you were blessed with the training of an amazing 2-year-old sports rider. What kind of horse is he, and is there an amazing story in how you got him?
Yeah, sports rider. I found him at Harrisburg sale. I found him early in the morning of the day he was selling, and I just fell in love with him. Just as soon as I seen that colt, he was just drop dead gorgeous, and just there's just something about him that I had to have him. One of my other owners was there. He asked me to find him a top colt. I showed him the colt. He wanted the colt. That sale, he sold his number. It was like 370 or something, very late in the day, and it got to be about 7 o'clock, and the particular owner I had lined up to buy the horse decided he was going to go home, and we'll find another colt the next day, which at the time you don't think nothing of it. Like, there's a lot of colts being sold out there. You don't know which ones are good and which ones aren't. He said, we'll get something the next day. So I started calling my other owners because I wanted to buy this colt, and I couldn't get a hold of nobody. I got answering machine after answering machine, and I really thought the colt would sell for about 100 to 125, and I didn't want to just go buy him without backing behind me. So anyways, I never did get a hold of anybody, stayed and waited to watch him sell. He sold about 8:30 at night, and he went for $50,000, and I bought him. I bought him for myself at the time, and within 20 minutes, Steve Calhoun called me and asked if he could purchase half of that colt, and I said for sure, so he bought 50%, and then when I got him home, West Wind Stable bought in a quarter, and I kept a quarter.
What's his record like? It's unbelievable.
It's unreal. He's only been beat once in his life. He's 8 starts, 7 wins, and a second. His second came in the Breeders' Crown final, where I honestly think that was the best race he went yet. Like, he showed a lot of guts and determination that night. He had a tough trip, and he got beat by a very good colt also. But sports race, it sounds stupid saying that finishing second was the best race I think the colt went, but I honestly do. I never seen him show as much guts and determination as he did that night, especially being a 2-year-old colt. The way he fought back and dug right to the wire. He set the world record in 149 and a piece, and the 149 and 2 in the Metro Pace, which was my first $1 million race win. And he just, every single time that colt stepped on the track, he just kept showing, like, just kept getting better and better, which was amazing. So he's quite an animal. I've had a lot of nice horses, and I can't say I've had one quite like him.
Hey, Casie, what's his future like? I know you must have been offered money for him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of offers on the table. I've left Steve Calhoun. He's the majority owner. He owns 50%. Me and West Windsor a quarter each. I've left that completely in Steve Calhoun's hands, and so far it's still the same ownership. Nothing's changed. A lot of people are talking, but right now we're just enjoying the ride, and we'll hopefully worry about having stud duty after a 3-year-old season with him.
You recently flew to Vancouver for a fundraiser. Now, how did this all come about?
Jackson Widdop and Chuck Keeling called me probably about a month and a half ago, and asked me about coming home, and they were going to have a day for me, and I said that would be absolutely awesome. They said it was going to be on the biggest day in BC, and I said that would be great. I'd love to come out. And then he asked me if I would like to raise money for a charity of my choice, and I said for sure, and chose the Victoria Burn Unit, and that's how I got here.
Were you surprised at all the support, not only by friends, but the donations you received?
It was absolutely amazing. Like, when I started, when I talked to Jackson, and he told me that out in BC, like, they have some donations for sure, but they don't have as many. They asked me if I could try rounding up a few, and I just started calling some people, like feed stores, fellow horsemen, vets, like you name it. I just started calling people, and not one single person told me no. They just kept up to the day of the day I was leaving. I was still getting phone calls for people donating to be bid on up for the charity. So it was absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe how many people donated things.
Did you meet some of your high school friends after all those years?
Yeah, I did see a few of them. Basically, the ones I seen were the ones that were involved in the horses. When I was going to school, I wasn't much of, I never spent much time at the school after classes. I only went when I had to. but I did meet quite a few of my friends that were also involved in the horses. And I met a lot of the fans, too, that I seen down there were fans that told me that they watched me when I was still driving and in my younger days at Fraser Downs, and now they still watch me. That's pretty awesome.
That does mean a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. Like, there's a lot of people that I remembered, obviously, but I thought it was really cool. A couple gentlemen that came up to me and shook my hand and got my autograph, and told me that they used to always bet on me when I was driving, and they told me how they thought I was going to be a great driver at Fraser Downs, and now I've turned into a trainer. And they said whenever they see me racing in Toronto, they always watch my horses and bet on my horses, and I thought that was unbelievable, just to see people that still remember where you started and who you were, that they still watch you.
Casie, this fundraiser raised a lot of money. How well do you think you did? Because we do know.
I was told just under 30,000. I don't know for sure, but I was told just under 30,000. And if those numbers are correct or anywhere near correct, that's absolutely amazing. I know that the Victoria Burn Unit can use all the help they can get, and hopefully that will help save a lot more lives besides just mine.
Strictly awesome on your part, and all, like I say, all the people that help. You manage a great stable. How do you keep this stable going with the same amount of people that you've had working for you since day one? It's amazing.
Yeah, right now there's approximately about 75 horses between here and my stable in New Jersey. I have dual operations now, and I keep a lot of staff, and I have very, very good staff, and I do pay my staff very well to keep them on, and my staff are very dedicated. I've had guys with me probably 6-7 years. Probably a good handful of all my assistant trainers have been with me pretty much as I started, and when I started moving up from 1 to 2 to now 75 horses, the majority of them have all stayed with me. I've went through a lot of staff too, but some of them didn't work out so good, but the ones that did, they stuck with me, and they started with me when we're at Flamborough, and they're still with me now that we're racing on the A circuits.
There's a rumor that you have a barn horse for everybody. How's that work?
Yeah, Wild Motion is his name right now, and I started that about 3 years ago. How it came up is I was getting more and more staff, and I like to make sure my help gets treated good for Christmas bonuses, and it got to be pretty expensive the more staff I got. I had lost a horse named Sultan of Suede and a claimer for $15,000 that an owner owned. He didn't want the horse back because he wanted to get just a higher priced, a better horse. So I said, do you mind if I claim him? He said, no, go to town, because I knew he was a sound horse and a nice horse. So I came up with the idea to claim them and give them to my staff, and they get all the money that the horse makes, and that's what Buy a Mile Stables is. Whenever you guys see that on the program, that is my staff, and they all own an equal share of the horse. And right now, Wild Motion is right around $90,000 made on the year, so their Christmas bonuses are looking pretty good yet again.
It says a lot about you too, Casie, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, no, I like to make sure, like when I first started this, we call him like the Christmas horse and the company horse. I never thought, I was originally thinking like a smaller track horse that could make maybe 30 or 40,000, which is you could do that pretty realistically at, say, Flamborough and London and Georgian Downs. I never ever expected it would go the way that it went, and over the last 3 years we've continued to make very, very good amounts of money. And let's say this year we've had only the one horse, Wild Motion, and I just recently shipped him up to Yonkers Raceway, and he actually just won there. He was in a 30,000 claimer, and he went up there. We claimed him for 10,000 at the beginning of the year.
Casie, as always, thank you for doing it. It's just so cool, and good luck.
No problem. Thank you.